understand? What is?
I understand.
Okay, that's it. So, Lem, to be honest with you, I know so little about you. I just know that you are a QA engineer. What else? Just introduce yourself, please.
Well, that's actually almost everything. So, my name is Lena, and I'm QA engineer. I'm QA engineer for about 5 years. I don't know what I want to add.
Well,
I play video games some every time.
Yeah, I also know that you like cats. I guess somehow because you had some cat equipment behind you when we talked on Zoom.
Yeah, I have cat, and there is a cat tower in my apartment. Sadly, you didn't see the cat. He always likes to go in front of me and in front of
Right.
frontal camera.
Right.
So that's it. I guess I'll start with a little story. Once upon a time, me and my colleague decided to make a plan, ideal plan of task of release cycle. So how feature made and how feature released and everything in between. While we made this plan, we also write down which department should do some things, should do work in every area. As QA engineer, of course, I was interested in testing part, in quality part. Also, I forgot to add that QA means quality assurance, for somebody who don't know. So, according to this plan, QA should work on every single step. So, from the very start of the work cycle till the very end. The plan was beautiful, ideal, but as every ideal plan, it never was brought up to life.
Sorry, what was the product about?
The product was
Website constructor?
yeah, exactly, this computer goes down, and so the reason
I'll do something. Just
yeah. The reason, or one of the biggest reasons why this plan didn't work out is due to the fact that our chief managers didn't like the idea that QA engineers will interrupt the starting point, the point where they make requirements, where they decided what to do. Mainly due to the fact that they didn't think that we are skilled enough, or our opinions, they thought they knew better. And the third part is that most of the companies still think this way, and I highly disagree with them. But how it should be correct, how it should work the correct way. The correct way is this specific term called the one that didn't work out at all with previous management. And in fact, I never saw in fact a company which wanted QA to test their requirements. And there are a lot of things why it will be helpful. Mainly due to the fact that the tester, the QA, he knows the project in general. And at the starting point, QA can ask some questions, can tell that something is wrong with your requirements, because, for example, we can't do this thing. I know you want it, but sadly enough, it's not going to work. Actually, there is so the questions to the product management, and also there are going to be the questions to the development teams that will ask if we are we able to do that our chief management wants. Also, and the requirement testing part for case they can write documentation, testing documentation. Basically, they can write down what they will gonna need to test till later. Yeah.
Lena, but do you have any idea which magic words should you say to your bosses to convince them that you can be useful in the very beginning of the project?
The magic word is always one. The magic word is money.
Money.
Money, and because in our time, we have a lot of different products. I mean, in IT, in the world, you have a lot of application. When you try to search something, for example, you need a task manager for your daily life. You go to the App Store or to the Google Play and see a lot of different applications, and you need to choose one. Of course, in the end, you will choose the one that looks nice and works correctly. If it looks nice and doesn't work, it's kind of useful.
But you know, it can be a little bit different. I mean, option number one, when you work in a product company, and another one is when you do something for someone else. And as you know, it can make the project more expensive for the customer, but still you would recommend a QA specialist to participate as early as possible.
I will, yes, but of course there are some projects that need to be done in like a really short period of time. In these cases, like all of the corners cut it out, and people try, like chief managers tries to do everything as fast as possible. And this is a problematic project because after this project, usually most of the team, including QA, I guess mainly, but I guess this is my opinion, so I know this is mainly. After this kind of project, most of the team is burned out. And I don't really recommend to participate in such projects. Sometimes it's fun, but mostly it's quite painful. But I know that there are always going to be such projects, and well, you need to suffer in this project.
Yeah, IT is all about suffering.
yeah, I will agree with that.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I think I don't really have in this particular matter, in particular presentation, it's very short. I think I forgot everything.
No, don't worry.
You also can ask me some questions.
Any questions about QA, testing, whatsoever? Yes, please.
About suffering?
Just curious. The biggest pain, the most common problems which would take a toll on you or personally or maybe on some other engineers. Just a few examples from your experience.
Biggest pains in my life?
Most demotivating situations, most annoying.
Let me think. Well, annoying is when you return the task to the developer for like 10th time, and while he managed to fix one thing, he also ruins the other. But it's like the cycle of development, I guess. Another annoying thing is actually, for me now, is when a chief management says you don't need test cases. Like at this point, no, we need at least some kind of documentation. Is yes, this short life project, but let me at least have this small kind of documentation.
So basically, they're saying your work doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, I have my own question. You know, you're saying that a QA specialist should participate at the very early stages, but you know, the problem is when you know the project from the very beginning, you become too emotionally attached to it, and you become like a developer almost. And as you know, it's not a very good idea to allow a developer to test the software because he knows it like a developer, but not like an outsider. What can you say about it?
With ages, you need to be a solid rock and not to get emotionally attached to anything. But, well, it's not like a developer. Developer will be emotionally attached to part of the project, but you, how can I say? It's inevitable. At this point, I guess, well, with all projects that I was in, I got emotionally attached to every one of them.
Yeah, or maybe you just need two QA specialists, so one participates from the very beginning and another one does something in the very end.
Well, it's actually a good idea. It could be possible that, for example, we have a requirement tester, we have like functional tester and a manual tester automation tester. We can have actually can have testers for any cases, but sadly business never wants this way.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Hello again.
Hi.
Is it true that every QA is driven to become a developer at some point? And if not, then why?
No, actually, I'm the one of the QA that don't want to become developer. Mainly because the reasons that I studied in university for program. How do you say this?
Software development.
For software development, yeah. And honestly, I'm fed up with programming. I don't want to do this anymore. But I guess this is just me. In fact, currently there are a lot of ways for QA engineer to grow. One of the ways is developer, yes. The other way is management. It's one obvious. Automation tester is kind of between testing, manual testing, and development, because he is writing code, but he doesn't develop products. He writes tests, which kind of. There are security testers, for example, now, and quite a lot. I don't remember, but I know that there are quite a few ways to develop, like staying at the testing part. Did I answer your question, or did I make everything
But
magical?
you must be using some scripting in your day-to-day job as well, right? So you must be part of developer too.
Well, yeah, of course. You need to understand, like, from my experience, you need to understand at least basics of programming, and you need to understand the basics of HTML and CSS, especially if you're a web tester. But you don't need to become a developer. You don't need to go into front end or web mastering or to maybe back end. But it's looking like you need to know everything, but a little. For example, it's quite useful for testers to know basics of Kubernetes today, and to know how. I actually had colleagues that who knew how to open a server, not open.
To what? Like, Arseny, what is the best word for deploy? Yeah, deploy.
To make their own server for tests through the Kubernetes. Like, so basics of every single thing that are popular, that are used in development now, testers knows. But there is no need to go deeper for that.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, please.
Lena, what is your favorite part of QA testing? Maybe that gives you some kind of pleasure.
Release part.
Inspires you. What is the best part you like?
The part when the release happens, especially if this is the first release of the project, it's like you did a lot of work on that, and it's finally people can see it. The part when the people gets to the project, but the bugs after this isn't very pleasant. But
And Lena, has it happened to you that you were disappointed because the product didn't have that many bugs and there was very little work for you to do?
No, it never happens to me.
Okay.
There's always quite a few bugs.
Yeah. Any questions? Anyone else? Yeah. Yes,
Yep.
please.
I'd like to return to the theme of your speech. So you suggest to start to create start work in the beginning.
Yep.
And now you work with that idea, or maybe.
As I said, sadly, I didn't find a project that when I go into interview, they always ask you, do you know what is requirement testing? Could you do the requirement testing? But it never appears in the project for some reason. I don't know.
You don't know the company that can work like that.
Sadly, yeah. They're only saying that they can and they do, but they never do it in fact.
There is a way to do it, to become a developer.
I'll think about it, maybe in future state.
Okay. Any questions? Anyone else? Lena, thank you so much for participating.
Thank you.
And yeah, you get your flash drive back, and
Otherwise, I
yeah, some time ago I was accused of not shaking hands with ladies, so let's do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And boys and girls, by the way, we were fed by this orange company, you know, hopefully you like the pizzas, and you can use this code to order. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with combo, so please use it when you want to. And thank you so much for coming. Hopefully we'll meet again in a month. And now enjoy pizzas and talk about something. Goodbye.